Hi everyone, it's Miss Cross here. I hope you've all had a wonderful first week back at school. Now our assembly for this week is going to be all about neurodiversity. Now neurodiversity links very closely with our value for this week, which is nurture. But what is neurodiversity? Now neurodiversity is a very big word, isn't it? But basically it's about recognising that everybody's brain works differently. Neurodiversity is based on the idea that everyone has a differently wired brain and their own unique way of thinking and experiencing the world. I'm sure you've noticed that not you and all your friends learn in the same way. So there might be some things that you find really easy and other people find really hard. And the same as there might be things that you find really difficult and others find really easy. And that's because we're all different, and that's a good thing. Now I want you to watch this video that shows all about how people are different.
We are all different, and that's wonderful. Some differences are easy to see. Height, hairstyle, eye colour, and so on. Other differences can't be seen. Our favourite foods, fears, or special skills. Interestingly, the way we see the world is also different. For instance, what do you see in this drawing? Most people see a duck, but some of you might have seen a rabbit. Whichever you saw, you are correct. This is just a trick drawing to show you that all brains work differently. The brain is your body's computer. It works differently for all of us and controls how you learn. That's why we are all good at different things. How you feel, which is why we all feel different emotions. And how you communicate.
Now I want your teacher to pause the video a minute and have a think about the things that make us different. I want you to have a chat to the person next to you. Can you find out something that they like that perhaps you don't like? Or something that you really like or enjoy that perhaps they don't? Is there something that they're really good at that you might find a little bit tricky? Or is there something that you're really good at that they might find difficult? Just remember, all of these differences are what make us special. How boring would it be if we were all the same? Now for some people, there's a reason as to why they think or learn or interact in a different way. I like to refer to these as superpowers. Some of you might have heard of different things before, like ADHD, autism, dyslexia, or Tourette's. And all of those are the names of things that might make people think, learn, or act in a different way. Now I'm going to show you a couple of short videos that explain about a few of these in more detail. The first one of these is dyslexia.
See and understand the world in different ways. One of those ways is called dyslexia, which affects how the brain handles information it sees and hears. Dyslexic people may find it difficult to match letters to sounds and to remember how to spell words. They may even see letters moving around when they're reading. They might have trouble telling left from right. Remembering lots of instructions can be especially hard. They may need more thinking time to remember the right word.
Chicken! No wait, duck!
As well as memorizing sequences. It may be difficult for them to hold a pencil and to write by hand. Even organizing themselves can be difficult. But everyone with dyslexia is different. It can affect how people feel about themselves. When they struggle with a task that other people find easy, they may feel frustrated, angry, or sad. Some dyslexic people try to hide their difficulties because they are worried about what others will think of them. However, thinking differently can be a really good thing. A person with dyslexia may be very good at seeing patterns and solving problems, imagining and rotating objects in their heads, telling stories and making people laugh, taking things apart understanding how they work, and figuring out how to put them together again. Inventing, drawing, painting, and making things. Seeing the bigger picture. Dyslexic people can do a lot of things. They just might do them in a different way to how others would, and many of them have even become famous for it. There have been many famous dyslexic inventors, writers, scientists, business people, astronomers, paleontologists, actors, cooks, singers, artists, architects, and so on. Dyslexic people have changed the world. See dyslexia differently.
Pretty amazing, isn't it? Yes, people with dyslexia might find it difficult to read and maybe write, but imagine being able to think that creatively. Now I'm going to show you a little video all about autism.
Sometimes the brain is connected in such a way it affects the senses and how we perceive and read situations and interactions. This is known as autism. Many people have autism, so it's likely you already know someone who is autistic. And for this reason, it's useful to know a little bit about autism. The special wiring inside an autistic brain can sometimes make the person good at tasks we may find difficult, such as mathematics, drawing, or music. It can also do the opposite, and activities we find too easy are incredibly difficult to them, such as making friends. The senses constantly send information to your brain about your surroundings and other people. However, when a person's brain and its senses don't communicate well, the brain can become overwhelmed and confused, affecting how they see the world. Picture yourself walking down the street. This is how an autistic brain may experience the same world. Scary, isn't it? Sadly, in many cases, the person can't say out loud how they feel. So even though there's chaos going on in their heads, they seem okay on the outside, unable to ask for help. We all develop behaviors to help us feel calm in uncomfortable situations. We may look away, hug ourselves, chew our fingernails, fidget, bite our lips, and so on. Equally, autistic people develop behaviors that help them cope with these intense moments. These actions may seem unusual, but they're just their way to feel calm. When they happen, it means they are having a hard time. The kind thing to do is not to give them an even harder time by getting cross, ignoring them, or mocking them. People with autism need friends who are willing to take the time to know them. With good communication and plenty of patience, everyone would be better off. People with autism are not ill or broken. They simply have a unique view of the world. And with a little support from their friends, they might just be able to share that view with us. Autism can make amazing things happen.
Again, how amazing! How amazing to be able to think in such an interesting and different way. Now, we haven't got time to watch videos on all of the things that I've mentioned, but if you want to know more about ADHD, dyspraxia, or Tourette's, perhaps you could have a chat with your class teacher. Now, I want us to spend a few minutes just reflecting on some of the things we've watched and we've talked about today. I hope that the videos have given you an understanding of just how different people's brains work. So not only is there things that make us different from each other that we can see on the outside, but actually we're completely different on the inside too. And that's something we should be celebrating and be extremely proud of. Those differences are what make you, you, and what make us all individual and special. I want you to stop and have a little think now. In your head, think of 3 things that you're really proud of about you. These could be things that make you different or things that you're really good at. Did you manage to think of 3 things? I hope that you did, but if you didn't, don't worry. Perhaps ask a friend or your teacher later. I bet they'll be able to think of lots of different things. This week I want to set you a bit of a challenge. I want you to think about differences this week and celebrating those differences. If you notice that somebody's finding something a little bit difficult, is it something you could help them with, or something that maybe you know you could do that you could support them with? I wonder how many points you could earn for Nurture this week for celebrating differences. Just remember, it's amazing to be you.